Welcome to Real Estate with Tracy. My name is Tracy Gerard, your trusted and dedicated realtor. Now, on this show, we discuss all things real estate, and I am really excited about today's guest because we're going to be diving into a topic that touches many people, especially doing major life transitions like moving, downsizing, or handling a loved one's estates. Joining me today is Joann Red, the owner of SFS Estate Liquidations and Sales. Joann and her team specializes in on-site online estates, right?
Yes.
We're going to be talking to Joann when we come right back, so stay tuned. Let's talk about it. All right, let's welcome Joann Red to the show. Woo! That's a fake clap for you. Welcome, Joann.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
here.
joining me today. So let's start here. Listen, you got the memo. Look at us.
Yes.
We're twinning.
Yes.
I like it.
Thank you.
So tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm Joann Red.
Mm-hmm.
I am a 30-year educator with Chesterfield County Schools. I retired in 2010.
Nice.
Always wanted to do something entrepreneurial, so I started an estate sale business where I do downsizing, estates, helping people declutter.
Yes.
So that's what I've been doing.
Why? Okay, why?
Why?
Why from an educator to, has this just always been like a passion of yours, or?
I did a few other things before that. I had a women's consignment store, and I just realized that people always came to me with what do they do with their loved ones' things once that they pass away.
Yeah.
So I just felt that it was of service. I always loved decor and decorating and staging and organization. And I've taken many of those strengths that I had from being a principal and leading a school to helping someone prepare for an estate and operating that.
It makes sense now because as a principal, you have to be organized and everything.
Exactly.
We'll talk a little bit more about your work later in the show. But SFS, what does that stand for, and why did you choose that name?
Okay. S stands for suited. And I feel like that when you are working with an estate, you have to be organized, that's suited, that preparation.
Love it. Yeah.
So that's why I chose the suited for success. It's preparing for an estate is a very emotional time for many.
Yes.
They lost someone, and I felt like that success. That I wanted it to be a painless process. I wanted it to be of service. I wanted it to be successful for the client, definitely, but also for my business. So suited for success.
I love that. I love that. So for those of us who are not familiar with an estate sale, like what exactly is an estate sale?
Okay. I look at an estate sale as an experience. It's an experience where you go in with a mission of clearing, selling, prior to the selling, preparing.
Yes.
Other people's personal contents, whether that be furniture or household appliances, tools, collectibles, all of that, such that the house is empty. That's what I go in with the mission. But I do it in hopefully a loving way, a passionate way, such that those things go to another home that someone else can enjoy. So many people that come to estate sales, they're looking for an experience. You're able to tell so much about other people's things, how they live, what they liked.
Yeah, I didn't know that this was a thing.
Yeah,
like
it's a thing. It's like a little culture. It's like the same people come every weekend. They go to different sales every weekend and they look forward to it.
And you start to see the same folks that come in and like, Mike, did you know that estate selling was like, did you know that was like a community?
It's like something to do.
Like,
yes, people follow them.
Really?
Yes,
and then you have your online.
Exactly. You have an online, presence.
Yes.
Whether that's a website where you're selling from, that really provides that great service for people's things.
That's awesome. So who is your typical client?
My typical client is a family member of a loved one who passed away.
Okay.
Okay. A realtor who recommends me to a client to clear their house, to offer them some assistance. I've dealt with hoarder situations.
Ooh,
I've dealt with,
how is that?
Hard, but
Yeah.
that's where you really feel of service, because they're in a condition that they have too much. And so you're really trying to help them to plow through so that their life can be transformed. So I feel like that's a real service.
So you've actually worked with hoarder situations where people still live in the house.
Yes, they still live in the house,
and
they vacated the house, and the things, the stuff is still there. And
gotcha. Okay.
they need to sell the house so that their life can be better. And it's an emotional time for them. So
right. Yeah.
I work with blended families where the wife, she had her own house, the husband had his own house. Now they're coming together,
And they just have
and so
stuff.
they have so much.
Okay, and they just want to
Exactly.
just get rid of it, because a lot of times people think just estate sale is just associated with, like you said, someone passes away, but it's so much more to it than that.
Right, and more I'm seeing where people are wanting to have an estate sale and they're still living. They just want to use that estate to downsize.
To downsize. Okay, all right. Declutter. Okay, and so you have, let's just say someone wants you to use your services. You have an initial consultation.
Yes.
And I'm bringing this up because we worked together before on a property, and you did a oh my God, I was so in shock.
Thank you.
I was shocked so it was stuff everywhere, of course, and then the way that everything was separated and tagged, and it was just so beautifully. Yeah, it was so beautifully organized. But I also referred someone to you, and you could not help that person. You said that they didn't have enough stuff. So talk to us about that.
Okay. Most often, when you go into an estate, or when people come to an estate, estate sale, you want the house to be full.
Okay.
Full of the right things.
And when you say the right things, what are we talking about?
Okay, you want, like, what I always refer to them as categories. You want some furniture that is not so dated. And if it is dated, it's good antiques, not just old stuff.
Right.
That won't sell.
Right.
Upholstered furniture is sometimes difficult to sell.
Right.
You want some china, you want some clothing, you want household, you want appliances, tools, collectibles. You're looking for a wide range of things so that it meets a variety of shopper needs. Sometimes people think it's only china or only antiques, and that's not everybody's jam.
Right.
So you're trying to have a variety of things such that the estate's opportunity and the experience is engaging.
Right. So how are you advertising? Like, I know you have a really good social media presence, and you hang out on Facebook.
Yes.
That's your thing.
I have a website platform that I use, estatesales.net, where people can find my sales by the zip code. And people who really shop estate sales, they look at where the next estate sale is going to be for that Thursday, so that they can plan their Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
That is so great.
Yes. I also send out email notifications for those that have visited my estate sales, that I always keep them informed and updated. I get lots of word of mouth. I think that's the best referral and the best way that people follow me. It's just word of mouth. Where's SFS this weekend? And I also, as you said, I have a Facebook page.
Yes. And so you have, because I looked at your Facebook page, and you have items on there that you continuously sell after.
Exactly.
And people will go on and buy. That is
right.
That is. Well, let me ask you this: What do you do with the items? Like, say, for instance, you have an estate sale, and the items that don't sell.
Okay. It all depends on the client need. Sometimes clients want to come back and get those items that did not sell. Sometimes they ask me to donate them. I donate a lot to Habitat for Humanity or Crater Thrift, or sometimes their churches have opportunities. And then if they don't, they just said, take it. I don't care what you do with it. I have 2 rooms at an antique shop that I rent, called the Motel at the Picnic Past, and I am able to resell those items.
So that's an actual store where people can come and they can buy.
Exactly. Things that did not sell.
That is super. That's super cool. I just love. And then you also offer a delivery service for an extra fee. So let's just say someone has a big item and they can't pick it up. Because normally what happens is whatever you buy, you're responsible for coming to the location and picking up the items. But you do offer a service that you can have those items delivered.
Yes, for a fee. They can be delivered, and that's been very helpful to our business because people, if they see a piano, they want it, it's priced right, but they have no way to get it from the estate. So just as long as they get that by 4 o'clock on that Sunday, then we are able to provide that service.
Okay. And then you also provide, which you provided for my client, when you were done with the estate sale, the house was spotless, clean. I mean, I didn't even have to go in and do anything. I just had to go in and stage it, and we got it sold. But you guys did your team was amazing. You had people working in each room, and it was just done so beautifully. The clean out service is another
plus for our business because people want the home broom swept clean when we leave. So from the transformation of your house looking like a store, everything is removed, it's broom swept, it's ready for the realtor to take over.
I love that. I love that. So your ideal client would be, of course, realtors.
Helping their client. That's a real plus. And someone who's not so married to their stuff. Okay. You know, many times people want the estate sale for the purpose of selling a home.
Yes.
But are you so married to it that it's hard for you to let it go?
Yes.
And what I always tell them, if you are so married to it, don't put it in the estate sale.
Right.
Take it home with you.
Awesome. That's awesome. And so how can people get in contact with you?
Okay. Certainly, they can contact me through the website, estatesales.net, when they see a posted estate sale of mine. If they're looking to gain my services, they can call me at 804-439-5626 or through my website, suitedforsuccess1@gmail.
That's awesome. So do you have any, can you tell us, the craziest thing that you have sold? I shouldn't say the craziest thing, but the most interesting, would you say?
Probably one of the most interesting things that I have sold, it took up a whole room. It was a pipe organ. That took up a whole room in someone's
Who buys this stuff?
Someone from a church purchased that, but it was very large, very ornate, but it had to be priced right. That was probably the thing that was the different thing that I've sold. Things that I found that people didn't know was silver from the ex-wife that was hidden upstairs in the attic underneath of layers and layers of clothing.
Really?
I found a ring that's just from the preparation for the estate that was in a box of Christmas decorations, a ring that was a sizable amount that they had been looking for 10 years.
Wow.
So all of those kinds of things you discover when you're really, passionate about, making sure that everything is out, everything is priced, everything is displayed.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, I have used Joann, and she did an amazing job. That's why I wanted to have you on the show. So to any realtors out there that are looking for, estate sales, looking for a way to put some money back into your seller's pocket, when they are decluttering, a lot of times we think stuff is just junk, but it's not. Right. It's not. Right. It's not. You can actually sell it, and you can potentially make some money.
Exactly.
Yes. So definitely give Joann a call. You will not be sorry. Like I said, she does a really amazing job. My clients were so pleased with you.
Thank you.
And so how can people contact you one more time? What is your phone number?
My phone number is 804-439-5626, and my email